The animal kingdom teems with astonishing birth processes that defy belief. Some are so peculiar they'd be dismissed as fiction if not captured on film. Take the raccoon, a paragon of maternal care, or the enigmatic kangaroo pouch. These, among countless others, showcase the untamed and unpredictable nature of the wild. But brace yourselves, for what follows is truly extraordinary. Prepare to be astounded. Raccoons. Raccoons are intelligent and adaptable mammals, known for their black masks and ringed tails. They are opportunistic feeders, thriving in diverse environments, including urban areas where they scavenge for food. Their dexterous paws allow them to manipulate objects with skill. Female raccoons typically give birth to a litter in the spring after a 63-day gestation period. Newborn kits are helpless and blind, relying entirely on their mother for survival. The mother selects a safe den, often in a hollow tree or abandoned burrow. Kits begin to open their eyes around 3 weeks old and start exploring. By 12 weeks, they learn to forage but remain close to their mother, acquiring essential survival skills before venturing out independently. The kangaroo pouch. Kangaroos have a unique and fascinating birth process. Their gestation period is remarkably short, lasting only 30–36 days. Newborn joeys are incredibly underdeveloped, tiny, and hairless. Unlike other mammals, the mother doesn't immediately pick up the joey. Instead, it instinctively crawls into her pouch. The pouch provides a safe and nurturing environment with specialized tissue that helps the joey latch onto a teat. Within the pouch, the joey feeds on milk and gradually matures, growing fur and developing kangaroo-like features. As it grows stronger, the joey explores outside the pouch, but always returns for safety. By 8 to 12 months, it's ready to live independently, though it may still seek comfort from its mother. Darwin's frogs. Most frogs follow a predictable birth process. They lay their eggs in water, and these eggs hatch into tadpoles that eventually metamorphose into adult frogs. However, Darwin's frogs take an unusual approach to reproduction. When a female lays her eggs, the male swallows them, not to consume them, but to protect them. He places the eggs in his vocal sac, which serves as a safe haven for their development, shielding them from predators. For 8 weeks, the male frog endures starvation while the eggs undergo their transformation within his body. Once the eggs hatch inside his vocal sac, the male frog spits out fully formed froglets ready to face the world. This unique method not only protects the eggs, but also ensures that all the eggs are fertilized. It is a truly fascinating and remarkable strategy for these frogs to ensure the survival of their offspring. The overprotective mother alligator. Despite their fierce reputation, alligators are incredibly devoted mothers. When a female alligator is ready to lay her eggs, she carefully selects a safe location on land near the water. She then digs a hole, lays her eggs, and meticulously covers them up. For the next 3 months, the mother alligator remains vigilant, constantly guarding her nest. But how does she know when the eggs are ready to hatch? The baby alligators emit a distinctive chirping sound that signals their mother. As soon as she hears these chirps, she rushes to the nest and gently scoops up the hatchlings in her mouth, protecting them from predators. She then carefully transports them to the safety of the water. This behavior exemplifies the alligator's strong maternal instincts. Newborn alligators are incredibly fragile and vulnerable to predation, making their mother's protective care crucial for their survival. The quokka's backup baby. In the world of animal reproduction, the quokka boasts one of the most intriguing strategies. During its 28-day gestation period, the female quokka carries not 1, but 2 developing babies. The first, known as a joey, is born as usual. However, a second baby remains dormant within the mother's womb as a backup. If anything should happen to the first joey, the backup baby is already fully developed and ready to be born. While this backup baby is large enough to survive, it cannot do so independently. It remains within its mother's pouch for up to 6 months, continuing to feed and grow. Even after this period, the young quokka remains dependent on its mother for another month before it's ready to face the world on its own. This remarkable strategy ensures the quokka's lineage continues even if unforeseen circumstances befall the firstborn. Crabs. Crabs have a fascinating reproductive process, particularly during the rainy season when mating activity increases. Male crabs migrate towards the coast and females actively seek out mates. Once mating occurs, the female crab carries the fertilized eggs under her abdomen in a specialized area known as the egg sac. The eggs remain safely protected within this sac for approximately 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the crab species and environmental conditions. When the eggs are ready to hatch, the female releases them into the water at the optimal time, often coinciding with the incoming tide. The eggs hatch into tiny larvae called zoea, which are transparent and bear little resemblance to adult crabs. These zoea float freely with the ocean currents, undergoing several developmental stages. Eventually, the zoea transform into megalopae. Megalopae resemble small crabs, but are not fully grown. They settle on the seafloor and continue to grow through a series of molts, shedding their exoskeletons to accommodate their increasing size. This process continues until they reach adulthood. This intricate metamorphosis demonstrates the unique and adaptable nature of crabs. The fascinating sloth birth. Sloths are renowned for their slow-moving lifestyle, but their birth process is anything but sluggish. There are two main types of sloths, the two-toed sloth and the three-toed sloth, each with a slightly different reproductive cycle. The two-toed sloth has a gestation period of approximately 11.5 months, while the three-toed sloth has a significantly shorter gestation period of only 6 months. When it's time to give birth, the mother sloth typically moves to a lower branch of the canopy and delivers her baby while hanging upside down. This position ensures that if the baby should happen to fall, it won't fall far and risk injury. If the baby does fall, the mother can slowly descend to retrieve it. After birth, the afterbirth, placenta, falls to the forest floor. Interestingly, the female sloth often climbs down to consume the afterbirth. This behavior is common in the wild and likely provides a nutritional boost or helps deter predators. The baby sloth is born fully developed, with open eyes, sharp claws, and teeth. It instinctively clings to its mother's fur. Although fully developed, the baby relies on its mother to learn the essential survival skills necessary for life in the rainforest. Newborn sloths typically weigh between 300 to 500 grams, with three-toed sloths generally being smaller than their two-toed cousins. These babies are entirely dependent on their mothers as they begin their lives in the treetops. The jack of the alpaca pregnancy journey. Alpacas have a unique pregnancy process that prioritizes the safety and health of both the mother and her newborn. The female alpaca, known as a dam, carries her baby, called a cria, for approximately 11.5 months, a gestation period comparable to that of humans. This extended gestation allows the criae to grow strong and healthy within the dam's womb. In the early stages of pregnancy, the cria is small but grows rapidly. This rapid growth necessitates an increase in the dam's food intake to meet the nutritional demands of both herself and her developing baby. When the time for birth arrives, typically in the morning or afternoon, the dam gives birth while standing. This upright position helps maintain a clean birthing environment and minimizes the risk of contamination. The birth process itself is generally quick and smooth. Within a few hours of birth, the cria is typically able to stand and walk, although it may require some assistance from its mother. Following birth, the dam carefully cleans the cria and ensures it begins nursing immediately. This initial feeding is crucial as it provides the newborn with essential nutrients and antibodies. Alpacas exhibit a well-organized and protective birthing process, ensuring the cria is well prepared to thrive in the world, starting with the vital nourishment it receives immediately after birth. Giraffe's long gestation. When it comes to animal pregnancies, giraffes boast one of the longest gestation periods. While many mammals carry their young for 9 or 10 months, giraffes undergo a remarkable 15-month pregnancy, spanning approximately 470 days. This extended gestation period is essential for the calf's development and ensures it possesses the strength necessary to survive in the challenging savanna environment. At birth, a giraffe calf is already a giant, typically weighing between 100 and 150 pounds and standing over 6 feet tall. This substantial size and strength are crucial for the calf's survival. It needs to be able to stand and run almost immediately after birth to evade predators. During the birthing process, the mother giraffe remains standing, as lying down could injure the calf given its long neck and legs. The birth begins with the first two legs emerging, followed by the head and the rest of the body. After birth, giraffe calves exhibit rapid growth, increasing by 2.5 centimeters per day during their first week. Within hours of being born, the calf can stand, walk, and even begin to feed. Giraffe calves are born well prepared to face the challenges of the wild and adapt to life in the savanna. Their rapid growth and ability to quickly become mobile are vital survival traits in their harsh environment. Jawfish and their busy mouths. Jawfish are fascinating creatures, particularly renowned for their distinctive large jaws. These fish exhibit a unique and intriguing birthing process that, while reminiscent of the velvet spider in terms of parental involvement, is entirely different. After the female jawfish lays her eggs, she relinquishes all parental duties. It is the male jawfish that assumes sole responsibility for the care of the offspring. He meticulously collects all the eggs using his mouth. This unusual process is known as mouth brooding, and as the name suggests, it's quite a mouthful for the father. For over a month, the eggs remain safely within the male's mouth. During this period, the father abstains from eating. Instead, he periodically spits the eggs out and then gathers them back into his mouth to ensure proper oxygenation. This remarkable process, while reminiscent of the velvet spider where the eggs rely on the father for nutrients, differs significantly in that the jawfish eggs do not harm the father. Once the eggs hatch, the father jawfish releases the newly formed fry into the ocean, ensuring the survival of the next generation. This fascinating approach to parenting showcases the diverse and ingenious ways animals have evolved to ensure the survival of their offspring. The Lion Queen. Lions have long been celebrated for their majestic presence and complex social behaviors, earning them the title of Kings of the Jungle. This title is not merely a reflection of their dominance, but also a testament to the way they raise their young. The lioness has a specific gestation period of around 100 days, crucial for the proper development of her cubs. During this time, the lioness becomes less active, prioritizing rest and nourishment to ensure the health of her unborn cubs. She also actively seeks out a secluded and safe location away from the pride to give birth, providing a haven from potential threats such as other predators and rival lions. At birth, the cubs are small, blind, and deaf, weighing only 1 or 2 pounds. For the first few weeks, they are entirely dependent on their mother for warmth, protection, and nourishment. The lioness feeds her cubs with her milk and remains within the hidden den until the cubs are ready to begin exploring. As their eyes open, the curious little ones begin to cautiously venture out, always staying close to their mother's watchful presence. After a few weeks, the cubs start to interact with other lions in the pride and begin to practice their hunting skills. This careful and nurturing process ensures that the cubs grow strong and learn the essential skills necessary to survive within the pride. Seahorse dads. Seahorses have one of the most unique mating and birthing processes in the animal kingdom. During the mating season, the female seahorse transfers her eggs into a special pouch on the male's abdomen, much like a kangaroo's pouch. This pouch acts as a safe and nurturing environment for the developing eggs. Once the eggs are inside, the male seahorse carries them for about 2 to 3 weeks until they are ready to hatch. Unlike most animals, it's the male seahorse that takes on the responsibility of carrying and protecting the eggs. When the time comes for the eggs to hatch, the male seahorse can give birth to up to 1,000 tiny seahorse babies at once. After this miraculous event, the male can quickly recover and is ready to receive another batch of eggs from the female. This makes him one of the most devoted dads in the animal kingdom, capable of repeating the process again and again. It's an incredible example of how seahorses have evolved to share the responsibilities of reproduction in such a fascinating way. Elephants. Elephants are among the most awe-inspiring creatures on Earth, and their pregnancy process is just as remarkable as their size. As the largest land mammals, elephants have the longest gestation period of any mammal, an impressive 22 months, nearly 2 full years. This extended pregnancy is crucial for the development of the calf, which at birth can weigh anywhere from 200 to 250 pounds, about the size of an adult human. Due to the large size of the calf, Elephants usually give birth to just one baby, though twins can occur on rare occasions. The birthing process is carefully managed, and the mother typically chooses a secluded spot away from the herd to give birth. This provides her with privacy and reduces the risk of predators. Astonishingly, just 20 minutes after birth, the baby elephant is able to stand up, and within 2 days, it's walking alongside the herd. The lengthy gestation period ensures that the baby elephant is strong and ready to keep up with the herd in the dangerous savanna. This adaptation is vital for the calf's survival, as the herd must constantly move to avoid threats and ensure the safety of all its members. Goodbye, mother. The octopus has one of the most bizarre and heartbreaking birthing processes in the animal kingdom. During mating season, the male and female meet briefly before going their separate ways. The female then searches for a safe spot to lay her eggs. The gestation period, also known as brooding, can last several weeks depending on the species. Once the female lays thousands of eggs, she attaches them securely to a den or crevice. From that moment on, she doesn't leave her eggs, even to eat. The process is incredibly taxing on the mother. She focuses entirely on guarding and caring for her eggs, even going so far as to shut down the part of her brain responsible for hunger. As a result, the mother doesn't eat, and over time, this causes her to starve to death while protecting her unborn young. When the eggs hatch, the mother octopus, having sacrificed herself for the next generation, is no longer alive. This tragic cycle highlights the extreme lengths that some animals go to ensure the survival of their offspring. Darting. Snails. Snails are fascinating creatures, and their reproductive habits are as interesting as they are unique. Did you know that snails are hermaphrodites? This means each snail possesses both male and female reproductive organs, which allows them to reproduce more efficiently. There are about 43,000 species of snails, and they live in a wide range of environments, from land to fresh water and even in salt water. When snails reproduce, they don't just meet up to mate, they perform a special courtship ritual known as darting. During this dance, snails shoot calcium spikes at each other to stimulate one another. This darting behavior helps ensure that the snails are both ready for fertilization, increasing the chances of healthy eggs. Once the courtship is over, each snail heads off to find a moist spot to lay their eggs, which can range from 30 to 100 eggs per snail. So next time you see a snail, just know it's probably had a more intricate and adventurous love life than you might have imagined. Hyenas and the pseudo penis. The birth process of spotted hyenas is a grueling and dangerous experience, particularly for the females. Unlike most mammals, female hyenas have what's called a pseudo penis, a false penis that mimics the male's genitalia in structure but doesn't serve the same function. This is a significant challenge when it comes to mating and childbirth. The female must retract her pseudo-penis during mating to properly mate with the male. And when it comes time to give birth, the situation becomes even more complicated. The female hyena must deliver her cub through this incredibly narrow opening, which is only about 1 inch wide but 23 inches long. This makes the birthing process extremely painful and dangerous. Sadly, up to 60% of cubs get stuck and suffocate during birth, and more than 15% of the mothers die in the process. Even if both the mother and cub survive, the female's genitalia are often torn, leaving her with lasting pain and discomfort. The aftermath of this brutal process leaves both the mother and her young with scars that last a lifetime. It's an incredibly harsh and tragic way for the species to reproduce. Velvet spiders. The velvet spider's birthing process is one of the most shocking and gruesome examples of maternal sacrifice. After laying her eggs, the mother spider's body begins to break down, with the tissues inside turning to liquid. When the eggs hatch, the spiderlings are too young and fragile to feed themselves. So, in a tragic twist, the mother regurgitates the liquefied remains of her own decaying body, which the spiderlings feed on. This process continues until there is nothing left for them to consume. At that point, the young spiders turn on their mother, consuming every last bit of her until she is nothing more than an empty shell. Once they've finished, the spiderlings scatter and move off to begin their own lives in the wild. This chilling process is a harsh reality of life in the wild, where mothers often sacrifice everything for the survival of their young. The velvet spider's extreme sacrifice highlights the sometimes brutal nature of reproduction in the animal kingdom. The rare breed of horses. Horses are truly majestic creatures, known for their beauty, strength, and intelligence. Like humans, they need to reproduce to ensure the continuation of their species. Typically, horses give birth to a single foal after about 11 months of pregnancy. However, there are rare instances when horses give birth to twins or even triplets, and this brings its own set of risks and challenges. Horses are not built to carry more than one baby at a time. Their bodies are designed to nourish and care for one foal, providing it with the space, nutrients, and attention it needs to grow healthy and strong. When there are twins, the lack of room in the womb makes it harder for both foals to survive. In such cases, veterinarians may perform a procedure called twin reduction, where one of the embryos is carefully removed to give the other a better chance of surviving. Even when both foals survive, it's a rare and astonishing event. Take the story of Destiny, an Irish horse at Gassan Farm Studs in England. Destiny's owner, Tanya McKeown, noticed that Destiny was pregnant and provided extra care, but no one could have expected what happened after giving birth to one foal. Destiny shocked everyone by delivering a second foal just minutes later. Both foals survived, which is an incredible feat in the world of horse births. However, caring for two foals at once can be exhausting for the mother, and triplets are so rare that the chances of all three surviving are extremely slim. So, when you see a pregnant horse with a particularly large belly, there's a chance it's carrying twins or triplets, a rare and risky occurrence in the equine world. In a similar event, a heavily pregnant mare on a local farm was closely monitored, and everyone eagerly awaited the arrival of her foal. However, what emerged was unlike anything they had ever seen before. The newborn horse, although appearing normal at first glance, had a unique feature that immediately caught everyone's attention. Its size and form were strikingly different from the usual foals born on the farm, leading to gasps from the gathered crowd. The foal's skin was visibly marked with strange lumps covering its body, raising questions about its origins. Veterinarians were called to examine the newborn, and the cause of these peculiarities is still under investigation. Could this be the result of a rare genetic mutation? What caused this unusual birth? The colossal kiwi's huge eggs. Imagine carrying a baby that weighs half your body weight. It sounds impossible, right? But for the colossal kiwi, it's perfectly normal. This peculiar bird, with its long legs, sharp beak, and inability to fly, has one of the most remarkable reproductive traits in the animal kingdom. The kiwi lays eggs that are about 25% of its body weight, which is enormous when you consider the size of the bird. A single kiwi egg is roughly the size of 6 chicken eggs, making it one of the largest eggs relative to body size in the bird world. During the egg's development, the kiwi consumes a lot more food than usual to support the growth of such a massive egg. This puts a strain on the bird, leaving it weak and uncomfortable, which is why the kiwi often seeks out cool puddles of water to sit in, relieving some of the discomfort. After laying the egg, it takes at least 80 days for the egg to hatch. When the chick finally emerges, it's like a giant baby being born, a chick the size of a human child. It's a fascinating process, comparable to a human giving birth to a 7-year-old. The kiwi's reproductive process is a testament to the amazing ways animals adapt to the challenges of reproduction. The porcupine's painful birth. The porcupine's birthing process is one of the most painful and dangerous for the mother. Unlike most rodents, baby porcupines are born covered in soft quills, which are sharp and protective. While this provides some defense for the young, it can be dangerous during birth, especially if the quills are positioned incorrectly. If the baby is facing the wrong direction during birth, the sharp quills can get stuck inside the mother's birth canal, causing her excruciating pain. This painful birth process is a serious risk to both the mother and the baby, as the quills can tear through tissue and cause complications. Despite the difficulty of giving birth, porcupines are resilient, and the mother must endure the pain to bring her young into the world. Once born, the baby porcupine is fully dependent on its mother for protection and care. The birth process highlights the challenges that come with the porcupine's natural defenses and how nature's design sometimes leads to both protective and painful consequences. Mysterious snake births. Snakes have a wide variety of reproductive methods, and their birthing processes are as mysterious as the creatures themselves. Some species of snakes lay eggs, while others give birth to live young, and each method comes with its own set of fascinating features. For egg-laying snakes, the gestation period typically ranges from 30 to 90 days, depending on the species. After the female lays her eggs, she may leave them to incubate on their own, or she may stay with them, keeping them warm until they hatch. The hatchlings emerge fully formed and ready to begin their independent lives. On the other hand, viviparous snakes give birth to live young, with the gestation period more similar to mammals, lasting between 3 to 6 months. The young snakes are born fully developed, but unlike egg layers, they rely on their mother for a little while to learn survival skills before venturing out on their own. This process is a testament to the adaptability of snakes and how different species have evolved unique ways to give birth and care for their young. Whether laying eggs or giving birth to live young, the snake's reproductive process is always an incredible and mysterious sight to witness. What's the most amazing birth in nature that you know of? Let us know in the comments below.